So we're literally just gonna jump straight into it. I've just removed my makeup after work and I ain't looking fresh. So we're just gonna start because this collection is annoying me now and I need to get rid. So let's begin. I'm just gonna grab ones. So this one is by this brand here, SYZYGY. They're an Amazon brand, or at least you can buy these palettes on Amazon, but they sent this to me and I've just never used it. I just think when a palette's so little, I don't really feel that inspired by it. So, I mean, it's quite an interesting palette. Like, the swatches are quite fun, but I've just never ever used it since they sent it to me. And again, because it's only 6 shades and they're all metallics as well, like duochromes. I'm going to declutter this because, like I said, I've never used it, so first one gone. Next palette I have is the Sigma Creme de Couture palette. By the way, we're sitting on my floor, that's why the lighting's not that good, but anyway. This is a 4, 8, 12, 16 pan palette of brights, like pastel brights though. I do like a lot of the shades in this palette. I need to swatch with my left hand because that makes more sense to show you. So yeah, these shades are quite fun and they're vibrant enough. And, I mean, badly swatched, but you know what I mean. I'm going to put this in the maybe pile because I haven't really given it a fair shot and I feel like there's a lot of really pretty colours in there. I'm going to put that in the maybe pile, which is over here. Next up, I've got this NYX Ultimate Brights palette. I used this for the Feel Unique Top 10, which, by the way, at this point, like today, which is the 11th of September, I still haven't heard back yet. I assume I haven't, I know I haven't gotten the top 3, but I haven't heard back. I used this for that event, for the video. I'm going to keep this because it's a good drugstore option. I put that in inverted commas because this is like £18 or something, and I think that's really expensive for drugstore, but I was actually pretty impressed by the shades, so I'm going to keep that one. And you know me, I always need bright colours. How big are my hands? Up on top here, I've got the Sample Beauty Cult palette. I really, really like this palette in terms of the quality. I don't necessarily, I mean, look at that. I don't really reach for it that often because I've actually brought out a new palette since that I reach for more. But these colours are sick. They're so vibrant. Sample Beauty do some of the best eyeshadows for pretty inexpensive. Got a discount code. You should use it. I do like this. Don't reach for it, but I do feel quite a nice bond with the owner of Sample Beauty. So I'm going to keep this just because I like Sample Beauty and I like supporting a very, very small brand. So I'm going to keep that one. Then I have this amazing palette. I really, really like the shades in here. I think this one especially, sorry, it's an Empty Z palette. I've got this for like when I go traveling, if I just want to take single shadows with me. So yeah, I'm going to keep that. Saying that, I also have this ABH one, which is empty, which is 4 pans. But I'll keep that too, that's handy as well. Maybe I want to bring more shadows with me. Ooh, next up I've got this Ciate one. We got this in the Mrs. Gloss Beauty box. This is really, really good. It was like £30 for this palette and the shades are really pretty, especially the mattes. Like the matte purple is so nice. This matte base colour in the middle is really good. However, I never ever reach for this because I just feel like I've got much bigger palettes with more variety. I'm definitely someone that likes a bigger palette than a smaller palette. So I am going to put this in the declutter pile because I just don't reach for it and someone else will get better use out of it than I do. We've only decluttered 2 so far, but we're only 4 minutes in. Okay, this next one I keep purely for sentimental value. So the first year I was with Hamish, would it be? No, it would be the second year. So we met in late October, so that Christmas we spent apart with our own families, but then the the Christmas after that we spent together, and then it's my birthday in February, and his auntie sent me, Hamish's auntie sent me this palette, and it arrived on my birthday in the post, and I could have died. This was like one of my first high-end palettes. I could not believe she bought this for me. The shades are still quite impressive, but apart from that blue, to be honest, this palette doesn't ever get used. I mean, it doesn't get used anyway, but I just love that blue. And that brown I use sometimes for my hairline, just to make it, you know, look like I've got more hair. It's a really good palette. I'm not decluttering it. It's not available anymore anyway, so I never use it in videos, but it's more a sentimental product to me, so I'm definitely keeping it. Then we have this Milani one. This is the Auto Bare Necessities. It's just a really small palette. I just know I'm going to declutter this. However, really good quality shadows, but it's too small. Speaking of small, I've got this one by Smolder Cosmetics. The reason I have not decluttered this palette, apart from the fact that these are some of the best shadows I've ever tried and nobody ever talks about them, is look at the swatches of these metallics. Like, I don't know if you can even see how beautiful especially that pink is, and then that gold is just stunning. However, I never reach for it, but I always keep saying to myself, oh, maybe one day you will, but I don't. No, I'm gonna declutter it because I've never actually used it. I just keep swatching it and thinking how beautiful it is, which is stupid. Then see, no makeup on. Ugh. Then I have this Makeup Geek Z palette, which has Makeup Geek eyeshadows in it. I never ever reach for this. They actually sent this to me with all of these shadows except this one, which I bought ages ago on Beauty Bay because I thought it was so pretty. Blacklight. But again, I never ever reach for this. If I cleaned it up, it would look quite nice, so I'm just gonna put this in the declutter pile. They are really good shadows, like they are good, but I just don't reach for it, so I need to not just hold on to stuff I don't need, so you're going. I got this PS one, this is a Primark one, when they released the single shadows and the palette that you could pop them in. I bought this for the purpose of a video that I've never filmed. To be honest, these shadows, I mean, that is, if I move my finger, a huge chunk of eyeshadow is gonna, yeah, don't know if you caught that. These don't impress me. They're not that good. They're not terrible, but they're not that good. I'm gonna pass this on because I just don't reach for it. This Sephora Pro is our next one. This also has a place in my heart. This is the Pro Pigment palette in Warm. And Hamish went to Canada maybe a year and a half ago and he bought this for me. It was like $100 and he bought it for me and brought it home. And it's gorgeous. I mean, the colours are beautiful. They swatch really nicely, especially the mattes. The metallics not so much. Like, this one is useless. But I never ever use this. I think I like using products on my channel that people can get quite easily, and you can't get Sephora easily in the UK, so I'm gonna keep it for sentimental value and maybe for personal use. I doubt I'll ever use it again, to be honest, but I'm gonna keep it for sentimental reasons. But yeah, if it wasn't sentimental, I'd probably just get rid of it. So I've got the Juvia's Place Magic palette. I completely hit pan on this shade up here because it was like the best ever colour for setting your concealer base. However, I don't really set my eyes anymore and I don't like this palette at all. It's not necessarily bad, I just don't like the colours in it one bit. Like, I mean, yeah, that's an impressive gold. It's a very impressive gold, holy mackerel. That green's quite nice. I want to keep the green and the gold. But the rest of them I just don't care one bit about, to be honest. Like, not one bit. But that colour is really pretty. Like, look at that colour. I've definitely never used that colour. Oh wow. Oh, I don't know. Could I depot 2 or 3 colours that I liked? I'm gonna put that in the maybe pile right now, just for those shades, but yeah, I don't like the palette as a whole. Then I've got the Juvia's Place Mini Masquerade palette. Pretty sure I got this when it was on sale on Beauty Bay. I never ever reach for this. That kind of is that green that I like, isn't it? Oh, it's a very different shade actually. I don't know, I feel like I just wasn't blown away by the shadows. Like, they are nice, you can see they're nice. But I don't know, I think I just didn't really get up on the hype train about them. And what do I do? Do I keep it? I have all of these browns, all of these golds. I have a hot pink, I've got these blues. I've got purples that I like. That's a nice blue. No, I'm gonna get rid of it. I need to, do I wanna get rid of it? See, now I'm being precious because I'm gonna put that in maybe pile for now. I'm sorry. I am gonna be good soon. Then we have my baby. I love this palette, the Jaclyn Hill Original Morphe palette. I will not declutter this. I still really like this palette. I've always liked this palette. And although I don't reach for it much, I'm keeping it because I love it and you can get some really great looks out of it. Oh, then we've got the Colourpop Zodiac palette. I'm keeping this because it's my only Colourpop palette and I don't want to get rid of it, and it's really still pretty new to me. So I want to keep it and keep playing with Colourpop shadows. I want to build up a Colourpop collection, to be honest. And I do like these shadows, so I'm definitely going to keep that. No great love for Kathleen Lights. I don't not like her, I just don't follow her, but I love Colourpop, so that's why I bought this. So I'ma keep it. I know I'm getting rid of this Meet Matrimony by the BAM. It's just so boring. Enough said. Honestly, I'm sure like some of you watching, I keep things because they're expensive, when that's just so stupid if you don't use them. Kristen Leanne Times Urban Decay. This is really pretty. I'm definitely keeping it. I really like this palette a lot. Really good. Hard to use on its own because there's only 2 matte shades and one's black, but I really like this palette and I am keeping it. So for Extra Spice, don't like this palette. Wouldn't recommend. I'm joking. I absolutely love this palette. This is definitely my favourite, or one of my favourite drugstore palettes. It's so good. I've done so many tutorials using it and I get requests probably every 2 days to do a look with this palette, so I'm definitely keeping it, obviously. Blood Sugar. Definitely keeping Blood Sugar. I've done 2 videos with this now, or maybe just 1. And this palette is one of the best palettes I've ever used. If you like this colour scheme, then you need to get it. I'm pretty sure it's back in stock on Beauty Bay. The colours are just outstanding, and I think I'll actually use this quite a lot over Christmas because of that lovely gold. That white is the best white I've ever used, and yeah, I love the packaging. I know it's bulky, but it feels expensive, it feels heavy, it feels cool AF, so I'm keeping that. So here I have 3 Z palettes, full of single shadows. They are all ABH single shadows. So that's like the kind of matte neutrals most used. And then I've got this, some matte but mostly shimmers. And then I've got the kind of really cool tone and also some more interesting colours. I'll be completely honest, I have not reached for these palettes in months, maybe even this year. Apart from maybe like, there's a couple of shades in here that I cannot live without. Like when I swatch them, they feel wet, like they're disgusting. I absolutely love them. I mean that in a good way. Like, these colours are phenomenal. But I do barely reach for these. I think I need to put them back out on my desk and not hide them at the back of a drawer. And that's what I put, like, single shadows for holiday. I take them from here and put them in here. So I'm going to keep those. They are very special to me as well because ABH sent me all of them for free in PR. And that day I died. I died that day. So I'm keeping them, half for sentimental reasons, half for the fact that they're very expensive, and they are very, very good. I just need to use them more. Oh, this is a good one. I did a video on this, the Revolution Pro Supreme Eyeshadow Palette in Allure. I'm going to keep that because it's a really, really, really inexpensive but really good drugstore palette. Like, they're just beautiful shadows, so I'm keeping that. Then I've got the NYX Metal Palette. Got this last Christmas, 25 bucks, never use it. I'm gonna declutter it because I never ever 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 reach for it, so I might as well get rid of it. It's pretty, but meh. Meron Press Glitter Palette, I'm gonna declutter this. Just 3 shades of press glitter. Don't really care for press glitter shadows, so bye. Collection Glam Crystal Palette, I've never reached for this. When I swatched them, they kind of, I mean, Collection aren't, I just don't think their eyeshadows are that good, to be honest. They do really good concealer. I really quite like their foundation. I love the Glam Crystals eye glitters, but I'm gonna get rid of that. Oh, the Nabla Dreamy palette. This is one of my favorite palettes of, was it last year I really got into this, or this year? Maybe this year. It's just a fantastic palette. Mine's really grubby because I love it a lot, and I'm keeping it. Faux show. I've also got the Nabla Soul Blooming palette. I've got to admit, I was absolutely gagging for this palette when I saw it online, but I very, very rarely reach for it. However, this shade up here is possibly one of the most beautiful colours in the world, and I'm keeping it for that shade. Also, that like peachy pink's really nice, and that pink at the bottom is really nice. So I'm keeping this palette, but I don't really reach for it. I need to use it more. Soul Blooming. Plus it's like the sister to the Dreamy palette, so they sit really nicely together and they're the same size and I like that. Oh, what are we looking at now? Ben Nye Pressed Colour Palette. I got this for doing a video for Just My Look, and while the quality of the shadow is very good, I don't reach for this palette. I haven't reached for it since I did that video, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. This palette's like £100 because Ben Nye's a professional brand for like makeup artists and theatre, but I don't reach for it, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. Urban Decay Naked Basics. I was obsessed with this for so long, for this orange shade here and the purples. I really like it for if I can't be bothered thinking of single eyeshadows to pack, I'll take this because it's got the basics completely covered, so I'm going to keep that because I do like it and I do still reach for it. Ooh, Colour Drain Cheers to the Beauty. I mean, I'm keeping this for Christmas for that green alone. I really like this palette, it's really good quality. I keep this for the metallics, not the mattes. The mattes in this palette to me are quite boring. I do like this peach transition, but the metallics in here are like awe-inducing, sickening, complete perfection of metallics. So I need to swatch one more on my last finger. Like, they're just phenomenal. I'm keeping that. It was expensive, but I also really love it, and I love Colour Drain as a brand. Similarly with that, I should have my Queen of Hearts, which I will never get rid of. One of the best palettes I've ever used in my life. Mattes and metallics in here are just like, I would sell Hamish for this palette. Honestly, it's so good. We've still got so much more to go, and I've already been filming for 25 minutes, so this might be quite a long video, I'm not sure. This will be like a Sunday morning upload for sure. Laura Lee Nudie Patootie, she's in a bit of scandal at the moment. I still don't think she's actually uploaded on her YouTube or Instagram in like a month. But this palette is phenomenal, and I'm so glad I bought it because it is so good. Let me get a clean finger, makeup free finger. Look at this colour, Jaybird. It's a duochrome. I don't know if you can see it. This palette's great. I'm never getting rid of this palette. I don't care if people don't like her or not. I can look past people and look at the makeup. Not talking anything about her controversies that are going on. This palette's phenomenal and I'm keeping it. Don't come for me. Oh, we know I'm keeping this. Stacey Marie MUA Carnival palette. Don't need to say anything. I'll link my review in whatever corner it is. And yeah, you will like this palette if you like bright colours. Okay, I'll swatch one Look at it. I'll just get these out of the way. The new Beauty Bay ones, Identity, Origin and Evolve. I've only done a full dedicated video with Origin, so I'm keeping all three. Because they were just sent to me as well. They're like brand new to me. They're not even out yet. They're out in 2 days time when this video goes up. So I'm keeping all of these because I got so many requests to do a video with each palette. So hopefully I can fit these in my drawer, and the packaging's really cool. So yeah, I'm keeping all 3 of those. This is where you're going to start to notice the grubby carpet. I rent this flat. I can't change the carpet. I'm not paying for that. So yeah, ignore that. Then we have the Colour Drain Vivid Pigments. I am keeping all of these. All of these are mattes. They are all phenomenal. And I'm keeping it. Love them. This is brand new. Still haven't used this in a video. The Barium Treasure Chest. I wanted to expand my drugstore collection, so I got this. $12.99. Absolutely gorgeous. I mean, look at that. Like, it's so cool, so I'm keeping that. I still need to do a video on that. I've got my 2 Huda Beauty palettes. I've got the original Rose Gold palette. I'm keeping it because I remember when I bought this, I did not have the money to buy this. I didn't have money to spend like £60 on an eyeshadow palette, but I bought it and I love it. I love the mattes in this palette. You can see I've hit pan on them. Like, I love this palette. I'm not getting rid of it. Half sentimental, half it's just a good palette. Desert Dusk, I also really like this palette as well. I don't reach for it a huge amount, but I do really like it, so I am going to keep this palette. It was expensive, but I do love the quality of the shadows, so I'm keeping it. Let's get the ABH Fam out of the way. Subculture. I'll just go through these 5 really quick. Love Subculture, keeping Subculture. You can see how much I've used Subculture. Keep it. Soft Glam is probably my second least favourite out of them all. It's very neutral. However, it's good for neutrals if you want neutrals. And also I'm doing my friend's makeup for her wedding and I'm thinking to use this palette on her. So I'm going to keep that. I'm not going to get rid of any of these, let's be honest. They're all a family. Prism is probably my least favourite. I really liked it for a while, but I don't reach for it at all anymore. But I'm keeping it because it's part of the family. Modern Renaissance is a classic. I actually need to repurchase one just for those lovely red shades. And Bon Fresco, which is like my favourite pink of all time, and Love Letter. Yeah, I'm gonna order a new one when I have to, but I love this palette. Original amazingness. And then Norvina, this is the newest one. I do really like this palette. It's not purple enough for me and it doesn't have enough matte purples in it, but I'm keeping it because, I mean, look at my little ABH family and they sit in my drawer so nicely. I am keeping them. You know I'm keeping them. Oh, BH Take Me Back to Brazil. I will keep it, although it's always out of stock, so I get frustrated doing videos with it. However, it's a really good palette for brights, so I shall keep that. Come to mama. Oh, let's get these out of the way. My Morphe Vault palettes, definitely keeping these. Absolutely love these palettes so much. I got quite a lot of hate on my videos. People saying that I was lying for some reason. I don't know why I would lie when I've literally nothing to gain, but I don't know where I just got to because my memory card ran out of space. I'm keeping them all. Like I said, I had no reason to lie about liking these or not liking them, so yeah, I'm keeping them because I absolutely love them and I just bought them really recently. Oh, my original Soph palette. I've not reached for this in ages because the new one's really overtaken it in my mind for like how good it is. This is still really good and I'm definitely keeping it because I know people still want tutorials using it. And it's still a very good palette, so I am going to keep that because I love it. And I feel like Soph is probably one of the nicest people on YouTube, so I'm keeping that. This is another one I got for a video that I still haven't done, the W7 Delicious palette, which is supposed to be a dupe for the Modern Renaissance. I mean, swatching it, it's quite pathetic in terms of like against the Modern Renaissance, but it might be better on the eyes, so I will keep it, and I will do that kind of half and half video. I think I'll just do like another half high-end, half drugstore. So yeah, I will keep that for that video, but you know. The Tammy palette by Makeup Revolution. This is another collab palette. This is the Tropical palette, and it's much more kind of bright and colourful, but still quite muted, so you can do lots of different looks with it. I'm keeping this because I do really like it. Yeah, I do really like it as a drugstore palette, and also Tammy is so nice. Like, she's a really nice person, so I'm keeping this in support and because it is very good. Okay, my keep pile is very big. This isn't going that well. Here is another recent one that I'm keeping because it's a very good palette, Urban Decay Born to Run. I could see myself traveling with this because it's got most of your bases covered, so yeah, I'ma keep this palette. I need to get rid of this. I said I was getting rid of this in my last declutter, and then I chickened out and kept it. I think because it's expensive, and it is my only Too Faced palette. I never reach for this. I have to let it go. I'm gonna get rid of this little Wet n Wild 4 shadows, because 4 shadows, I never reach for them. I'm also going to get rid of both of these Makeup Revolution palettes because they just don't impress me that much. The Iconic Division Reloaded and Neutrals 2 Reloaded. Never reach for them, don't think they're that good. I'm gonna get rid of them. This Revolution one is the Flawless 3 Resurrection. Also getting rid of it, think it's terrible. No offense. Makeup Revolution shadows have really come on well, but the first few palettes I did not like that much. This is the Sample Beauty palette that I really like, the Paradigm Shift. You can tell why. You can tell why. I've done a video with this. It's phenomenal. I am keeping it. Like, these shadows are so pigmented. I love them. Keeping it. Violet Voss face palette. That belongs in my contour drawer. I'm not getting rid of that anyway. That's another drawer we need to go through, by the way, because it's overflowing. Then I've got the Violet Voss Flamingo palette. This again is really new to me, and I'm keeping it because you can see the bright colours in it are beautiful. And I need to play with it more. I think I've only used it once, so I want to keep that and play with it, and I love the packaging. Okay, you're going to be really mad when you see how many I'm keeping, like, as a total. Especially because I'm going to keep this one, my Urban Decay Moondust. I love this palette. You can see I love this palette. Look how many shades I have hit pan on. Only this one is like nothingy granite because it's a boring grey, but the rest are gorgeous. I need to repurchase this actually. I keep meaning to, but then I'm like, ah, it's so expensive. Meron Makeup, this is an eyeshadow palette. This is a really good one. Like the quality of this is incredible, but I'm not gonna keep it, although I love that white shade. I love that purple. It's really, really good, but I am gonna declutter it because I just don't reach for it. Similarly, let me get these. Let me get these palettes over. Morphe 35B, I'm pretty sure this is, yeah. I love this palette. I'm gonna keep it because I love it a lot and it's great, and it's still available on Cult Beauty. I know they're bringing out a new one, but this is the Jolie Beauty Vivacious palette. I'm pretty sure I've only just swatched this. I've not used it. It's got like pressed glitters at the bottom, and then the rest are shadows. I'm gonna get rid of it. What's that? Sample Beauty Bon Voyage. I'm gonna declutter this because I've not reached for it in a long time, and I have a million bright palettes. It's a really good palette. This is when they were still like private labeling. They now make their own, so I am gonna get rid of it. Similarly, the Crown 35 color Smoke It Out. Pretty sure I got this to do a video for someone, for Just My Look maybe? No, it wasn't. It was for, oh, I can't remember. A brand basically sent me a big package of stuff and asked me to do a video. And then when I got all the stuff they sent me, it was all rubbish, cheap, like really bad stuff. And also this palette is just not that good. I do like this one green shade up here, but apart from that, yeah, so I just didn't do that video for them, and I just said sorry, I don't like the products. Sorry. Sample Beauty Single Shadows in the Z palette. I'm keeping this because I've probably never met a more pigmented mulberry shade, and probably never met a more pigmented matte blue. What else can I say? Really good matte purple. Very good matte green. They make their own shadows now, and they are truly some of the best eyeshadows you will ever use. So in the maybe pile, I have my two Gbas Place and my Sigma Creme de Couture palette. I'm gonna keep the Sigma only because it has pastel brights, which are really good for transitions. But I'm gonna get rid of my Gbas Place ones. Should I keep one to say I have one? But then I've got that with the Too Faced palette. I'm gonna keep the mini Masquerade because it's gonna fit in my drawer. Don't be mad at me. So in terms of decluttering, I'm getting rid of my Gbas Place Magic palette. I've got a bunch of Sarah Hill single shadows. I'm just going to put those in my declutter pile as well. So I've got some Crown, some Morphe, some Jolie Beauty, these two, some The Band, NYX, Primark, Makeup Geek, Makeup Revolution, Too Faced, and these, and that is not a bad declutter pile. That is not a bad declutter pile. If anyone is in Edinburgh and literally wants to come and pick these up, you can. Just like message me and I will organize that with you. If not, I'm just probably gonna give them to my niece, but she doesn't really wear that much eyeshadow, so yeah, they are used, they are not clean, they are not sanitized. But if you don't mind that, which I know some of you don't, then honestly message me and just come and pick them up if you want to add this to your collection. Hamish just sneezed. Right, let me put these back in my drawer and then I will show you my finished eyeshadow collection. Okay, sorry that if this is like shaky cam for a bit. So this is my bottom Alex drawer. This has got my bigger palettes that I'm keeping in it, and then a couple of little ones that just fit there. So my Carnival one's there and all the new Beauty Bay ones, and then at the back I've got like my sample beauty ones, my ABH singles. Under that's got my Morphe, Jaclyn Hill and 35B, and then my mini Masquerade. But I'm gonna keep that here, and if I don't use that within like the next month, I am just gonna declutter it. So then in the next drawer, which looks a bit better, I've got my kind of most used favourite palettes. Can I zoom out a bit? Yeah, I can. So Blood Sugar, Colour Drain, Huda, ABH, my favourite drugstore ones. What's that? Urban Decay, Morphe, Barium, and all that kind of thing. And then at the very back, I don't know if you can see, I've got my Z palettes and my like Urban Decay one that I just keep for sentimental reasons. Just there, and yeah, that is me decluttering my eyeshadow palettes. Like I said, this is the pile that I'm getting rid of. Ignore my hairy ankles, and yeah, I don't think that was too bad a declutter. So please let me know if you want to see more declutters from me. I want to do bronzers and blushes and contours and things because I have so many of them and I just want to get rid. So let me know if you want to see that, and thank you so much for watching. I'm going to take myself off to bed. I was up at 5 AM and I'm up at 5 AM tomorrow. So yeah, thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And I love you so much. I will see you in my next video.